Welcome back, everyone. We continue now with the ACGL Schools League. This is the ASL Nitro brought to you by Quark. Thanks to Clear Access. I'm Ultrism and this is AR. We started this off last week, AR, with getting to see what the grassroots levels of Fortnite can look like. And I must admit, I've been impressed last year. This year, it looks like it's taking it to a new level.
Absolutely. Last week, we saw 1 HP clutches, the Storm being bigger and badder than ever. And, absolutely incredible gameplay from these guys. But just in case everyone here is watching this for the first time, tell them a little bit about this, Ultrism.
Well, we've always loved esports, you and I, and what better could you do for people who've grown up their entire lives sitting in front of a computer or a console than to give them the chance to do it for their cause? Their schools have come together, and a big shout out has to go towards every principal, every teacher, every parent who has supported their kids to get to this point. But we're going to be going straight on to the battle bus here, and let's see what the next generation of Fortnite players in this country looks like.
Absolutely. Last week on the second day, remember this is week 2. If you missed out on those previous games, you can go back and watch it. But last week, there wasn't that much of a full lobby. Everyone busy with school. I'm glad to see we got a slightly bigger lobby over here than what we had last week. As we move into beautiful Chapter 5, this season is almost over, by the way, which means in a couple weeks, all this gameplay is going to be completely different. There's going to be new things added, new mechanics, maybe even massive map changes, and all of these guys are going to have to go ahead and adapt to it once more. And I think that's our favorite thing, Alt, is watching these guys adapt on the fly to everything new and still play as best as they can. As we watch Armand and Liam over here going to the windmills, going to go on that little wind power, maybe power themselves up to get a victory over here. And this is actually a good spot. I did not know that this spot actually existed with good loot. And it does seem that a pump shotgun and shields is going to be in hand of Armand. Dropping those crash pads, we don't need that. We got the zip line, we got water below us. We're chilling over here.
Well, this is one of the cool things about this Fortnite. Like you said, we constantly are swapping up seasons here. Last year compared to this year has changed up everything. We're going to be right back into that action, don't worry, guys. But we wanted to just let you know how things are evolving, because I must admit, we saw different teams starting to take the field here than they did last year. We have 170 teams sign up for this. We say that this is week 2, but effectively, this is the last round of week number 1. We saw Wednesday last week, Thursday last week. We're having to host 6 lobbies per round just to make sure all of these young players get to have some Fortnite action. So this is effectively the 3rd set of week number 1.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys we have seen before, and points and eliminations do count this time. And it's not even for any cash or anything yet, Alt. This is all just for seeding for term 2.
But with 170 teams in this, seeding could come out to be so valuable, right? You've got 1 term to get your seeding, 1 term to get your prizes. And I mean, with ACGL hosting that massive student showdown there in July, something really big for these guys to look forward to. I mean, back in the day, man, we didn't have anything like this. And now ACGL has really stepped up in the schools league, in the universities league. And I mean, that's a really cool way for us to get these kids excited for it. And I mean, some of these kids are already starting to play pro. That's the scary thing.
Absolutely. And of course, we have to give a massive shout out to ASL Nitro and Quark by Clear Access. Making these opportunities for all of these guys. You see it, we didn't have this when we were in school. Man, I would have loved to have this when we were there. And the opportunities that these guys are getting to show how great they are and put their schools on the map of esports is absolutely fantastic. And it's not even just for Fortnite. No, because we have Valorant, League of Legends as well, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the upcoming days, in the upcoming weeks as well.
And Rocket League. Let's not forget about Rocket League, right? That's also up there. I cannot believe across all these different games, and we're getting to stream it. AR, I know you're very involved with Valorant, the League of Legends. I'm going to be taking place in a lot of the Rocket League stuff. So, guys, we have so much action. We're going to be jumping into this. And AR, let's chat about Fortnite for a second, because we talk about how it innovates constantly. Something that I've been noticing from this year's crowd is there are so many teams lasting so long. Last week we were seeing, 6, 7, 8, even up to 10 teams within the final 2 zones.
Absolutely. The map being slightly bigger than what it was last season. And, in between the different chapters, we did have that OG season as well. So the map obviously being bigger than what it once was before. A lot of places to actually go ahead, rotate through. There's a whole train going around the map as well. We are going to see these guys last the longest that we've ever seen in any of these competitions. The map is so naturally built for cover, especially for the zero build league, that when we go into build mode, these guys are just lasting out. And until those final zones, and you point that out because the final zones that we had last time still had, I believe, 12 teams within it. And these guys were fighting for space. They were building as high as they possibly could, building their best cover whatsoever, and the zone shrunk in, and we got to the final zone, the final moving zone, which did so much damage that it resulted into a 1 HP clutch and victory.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to, and what these guys might be starting to adapt to at this stage, is the big 4 M's that I'm going to call them. I came up with this myself, so give me credit for this. Right? Mythics, obviously. Get some good loot behind you, be able to take some fights, and you can see that's what these guys are doing. Hunting down the NPCs, claiming stuff like medallions, and getting into those vaults. Right? The second one is mats. We saw guys running out of their builds. When you have to take those high ground fights, it becomes oh so pivotal that you have the resources in your back pocket. Third is the meds. You've got to be able to sustain. There's so many poke fights. I know you're going to go on to the snipers in just a second, because that poke fight has become such a big part of this. And then mobility, being able to rotate when there's so many people. You cannot afford to cross open ground at any stage when you've got this many teams looking at you.
I'm pretty sure in some universe sniper starts with the letter M, but we'll stick with what you have for now. We see 2 mythics on the field right now, by the way. We just saw Nisha get taken down, that mythic in the hands of that team, and we go over to Money over here, who has Montague's Nemesis assault rifle as well. A lot of kick to that assault rifle, so I'm curious to see how the control is going to be. But they are just going ahead and clearing out Reckless Railways, perhaps going to go for that Hyper SMG, listening to you, Altruism, going for that one of those 4 M's. And maybe we can add a 5th M into there, being the medallions.
Yeah.
The medallions that go ahead and heal you over time. Is just a little bit broken, not too brokey, but it helps you out in those situations, especially those in-game situations. But also it can hinder your performance, because it does mark you on the map as well. And they are going to go ahead and do massive damage to Valeria, trying to get that medallion and that Hyper SMG mythic, and perhaps move on to the vault and mod all of their weapons.
Yeah, mods as well. We can just keep stacking up the M's in this fight. But I mean, at this stage, we're still very much caught in that early game. You see the center of the field starting to get a little bit crowded there near the train tracks. Otherwise, everyone else pretty much just looting out their corners, making sure that they stack up their backpacks as much as possible, so that when that clash comes to it, we're already down to the next zone. Zone number 2 coming in, and we've only lost a single player. I mean, that's besides the fact that they can still get rebooted. And everyone else still looking pretty healthy.
Absolutely, and we do have a couple duos, I believe, within this. So I'm curious to see exactly how that's gonna go. Because last week we actually saw how 2v3 situations are that hindrance, but it doesn't always mean you're gonna lose. The duos did manage to clutch up a lot of the fights, but unfortunately, when getting third-partied and getting pinched into their builds, did manage to go down. So I'm curious to see if we see a little bit of the same things going on. And yeah, you do mention the slow start of the game, everyone farming up another one of those M's, the mats, making sure they're preparing for the end game and trying to get positioning as well. Storm number 2 about to finish in the closing, and we'll see exactly where the zone is going to shift to in just a couple seconds. And I'm feeling maybe a little bit of a northern zone over here. It does seem to go northwest just a little bit. And oh my word, a double knock over here. Going to go ahead and get the res off is Matthew. Curious to actually see what happened. This is, I believe, right outside the vault or just near the vault of Reckless Railways, which means they got pushed by that other team that you were talking about with all that action, and they did manage to clutch up, and they're going to get the double res or try to get the heals. We see another team just on the other side of Reckless Railways over there by the little parking lot, and I'm wondering if they're going to go ahead and try to hit that sneaky little third party. That is going to be the first team wiped out for the game. And I'm curious to see exactly what this team is especially going to do. They have the mythics. If I'm not mistaken, they have 2 mythics and 2 medallions in their inventory right now. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. And a lot of teams on the edge of zone right now. Obviously, the zone just closing in. They are going to have to rotate. See Knock-On going ahead, getting Shockwave up, but is going to go ahead, get cracked. Has to Shockwave away, and Smug is going to go ahead and get confirmed as an elimination. That just leaves Knock-On all alone right now. In a 1v, potentially 3 situation. I do believe it's a 1v2 situation. But that Peter Griffin's pump shotgun in hand, using the loss of the shockwaves to try or go away, you can always come back for the reboot cards if it's cleared out. But you got to get away, try to stay alive for as long as possible. 300 seconds is a long, long time on those cards. You just got to make sure that you're safe for a little bit. You survive for as long as you can. And maybe, just maybe, you hope for that opportunity to go back, get the cards, get that reboot back, and get your team members back into the fight.
Yeah, everyone's chasing him though, so he's got to get out of here as fast as possible. You can see Cito's got a track on him. The build wall commences, the speeder, they're going up, but the bullets are coming in just as quickly now. Cito gonna just stall it out with 2 teammates in tow right now. One game Ethan looking to get up a couple more kills. This team, of course, already has 3 to their name. Placements and position both count in this. They managed to take down Not Connor instantly. Really good sense for Blood there, and a nice way to get another team off the map.
And that's just the hyena pack mentality over there. There's one left. You go in as a trio, as a pack, as a group, and you put so much pressure in that you confirm that entire team. And they're sitting on some good kills as well. As you constantly mention, kills and placements do matter. And we see Matthew and the rest of the team looking for another one, perhaps. Does miss the snipe, unfortunately. Went for that quick scope. Gonna go ahead and build in over on Ruined Reels. Building height so beautifully. Gonna go ahead with the drop shot. Hits the shotgun shot. 55-27. There's one knock on Leo. Is gonna have to drop down. Is cracked. Unfortunately, though, that medallion is slowly healing up. Gonna go ahead, slowly confirm the kills. Build some cover as Pizza is being eaten to get that shields back up. And it's a 3v1 situation almost instantly, and now they're playing a little bit slow, building up some sort of cover, reloading guns, marking where the enemies are, and does see someone on height. Ismani is going to go ahead, build up, and retreat a little bit into Ruined Reels. You don't have to push in that situation, especially when you're dealing this well with kills. They're on 5 as a total group so far, and they got a lot of points just with that. Maybe need to last out until the final zones and see exactly what they can do. Maybe a first place, maybe a second is what I think they're going for at least. And right now they're sitting on a good amount of kills. Need to just play it a little bit slower, a little bit safer, and they will surely get very, very close to that victory royale.
I like that mentality, right? I think a lot of people who've been playing just casually or, quite thirsty solo queuers, they tend to try and rush everything. Whereas getting that awareness that, we don't actually have an advantage in this fight, pinging out the enemies so that your teammates know where they are, and then going, okay, it's not for us. We regroup. We've got what we need to up until now. Let's get a couple more placement points as everyone else takes people out across the field, or try and third party late into the fight. Such good maturity, such good mentality coming out from these young players right now. And you can see some teams still sitting, just hiding in a bush right now. 0 kills to their name. Couple of nice weapons, and there, of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mythics there, adding some mobility. But other than that, they need to start being a little bit more proactive, hunt down some teams. They might be looking to just cover the edge of the zone as it pushes out and catch someone by surprise as they flee the storm.
And it does seem like Prism and the rest of the team, they are looking over lavishly. They know the shotgun's been taken, and the shotgun has been taken by the team sitting in the bush currently. So they know that someone is close by. They see that medallion on the map. They know that that shotgun is taken. And you do mention the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mythics. It's such good mythics for mobility. Still would not use it for attacking as much. Maybe at least the least you would do with it is a ground slam attack, get 70 damage on the shields and then switch to a shotgun, switch to an SMG and hit the rest with bullets as we see zone closing in over here. 50 seconds left on it, and there's the mobility that we see with it. Not only can you dash with it, but the double jumps as well. And Ghostslayer actually going to grab a secondary movement item, which is very, very smart, considering that you only have 3 charges on those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mythics. You only have 3 charges on the swords or the sai, and is going to go ahead and grab the grapple blade. But beautiful snipe coming from an enemy team over on Matthew, forced to move down to lower ground and almost causing a little bit of fall damage over there by breaking those builds. Matthew, Ghostslayer, and Money now have to build up and heal up slightly with the big pots that they have, very cautiously watching the top of the hill. Zone pushing in slowly on them. It's still a slightly early zone, so it's not going to hurt as much. As we see Liam going for the rift, knows that they can rift up to island. Team sitting on island right now may try to get a few shots in at the gliders, and I think I did see a bullet pass over there as well. There's another and another as Liam and the rest of the team try to move over towards zone, maybe just trying to get a little bit of positioning and focus on that end game. And no one is in the zone right now. The only things that are in the zone are AI. So zone is completely safe for Liam and the team. If they go in, they can get as best of a positioning as they can, sit up on top of a hill, play for the end game, and perhaps maybe they even got the radio tower to see where the zone is actually going to end, and that's why they're choosing to move early.
I like that, right? Everything is uncontested for them. They were getting pressure where they are. They were on low ground. Do you try and fight it up and go into the team that's got you pinned down? No. You rotate out. You get into a nice rift. You get that height. You spot the guys on the island. It might have been a late call to rotate to zone because they were initially looking for island. But that adaptability that these young players are showing right now is belying their age. It is fantastic to watch there. Now we see setting up in this building. You've got the permanent cover, or is semi-permanent, as permanent as Fortnite could ever be, right? With the buildings there. And that means that you can now start watching the end of the zone, keeping an eye on that northeast. They seem to have missed the team, the red team, starting to push in from that eastern side, though. And they might have to wrap them around. But that team in the red that we're joining in now, Boss Binder, William, and Prism Gaming, they are skirting the outside edge. Need to be careful of running straight towards the center. See what sort of late loot they can start to pick up. And then maybe even pressure anyone else. But they seem to be the last ones from this angle coming into the zone. No, and they found a chicken.
They found the chicken, man. Those chickens sometimes dangerous. That chicken's can deal so much damage to you if you're outside the zone. But my favorite thing about this is we constantly are seeing new names every single week. I love that so much. Not only is it growing the entire esports in South Africa, but we're also seeing what different talent can do. We're seeing what different guys can actually do in these build modes, by the way. I'm going to keep on reiterating that it's build modes because these guys are so talented at building. As we see Matthew on another team over here right now, perhaps looking to get some more eliminations in the bag. They are on the low ground, unfortunately, though. We see one peeking, trying to go for the quick scope is Money. Unfortunately, not going to go ahead and hit anything. And we see where the zone is moving. Half outside of the zone near Ritzy Riviera. And only one team currently in the zone. Safe right now. Beautiful shot from Saido. And that sniper's again so much poke damage. And look at the inventory of Saido as well. 2 mythics in there. Peter Griffin's pump shotgun and Nisha's striker AR. 2 beautifully powerful guns. And we're going to move over to Lord Pancakes as well now. Sitting by the windmill, trying to rotate in. Knows that there are people everywhere. We can see how contested on the minimap it is getting right now on that northern side of the zone. Everyone pushing in from the north, trying to get into the zone. They do not want to be touched by this zone number 6. 36 seconds left on the closing. and everyone has to move really quickly. And it's interesting to see how the rotates actually happen. You know, with snipers being in game and the modding being in game, that you can go ahead and make your weapons have less recoil and stuff like that. It's interesting to see how these guys actually rotate safely throughout the map.
Yeah, this is my favorite part, AR. We get down to this action. We still got 8 teams left, 22 people on the field, and they're all so close to each other. A couple of teams fighting for the point just north of Ritzy. The other one's kind of clashing on that northeast side there. Mobility coming out from Ghost Slayer. He's sensing that he just wants to get and take control of that high ground. Misses the jump, unfortunately, though. He's going to have to rethink his idea. Money going to also go out with him. They just try and take a long-range duel there. Liam and Armand fighting it out there. They've given themselves a couple of nice edits to work with. They have to be worried about being pinched from the north. They've got no one behind them at least, so they can start fleeing south. They've got that good position in that new zone. We head back up to the north. Boss Binder and the rest of the side. This is that fighting for the pinnacle that I was looking at earlier. They've got 2 teams right next to each other. They got a zone inches away from them right now. It's going to be closing fast in a matter of seconds. Do you stand and fight this and try and get a small edge, but put yourself at a risk then of even dropping to the zone or a late pickoff afterwards? I mean, you know this, AR. I saw that disgusting clip that you put out. You love that little 2-time scope on the snipers. You see them building up and over, but Boss Binder now below, trying to edit himself into a bit of safety. Got almost no shields left, starting to take some health damage. There's the zone that we're worried about. He's got no mobility to work with either. That's the slink underneath that William going to be the one to drop down underneath, get the res off. Does he even go for it at this stage? Prism Gaming looking very nice and healthy. He's at least going to secure his team a spot in the zone afterwards, but his teammates not looking good. This one, though, Saido's team, the one that has looked stalwart and healthy the whole way.
Saido's team are sitting on a decent amount of kills as well. 5 kills. They've got the zone that they need. They're farming up mats. They're setting up for this end game right now, breaking the walls, replacing it with metal nonetheless. We do see a team very close to them as well. We saw them through the walls over there. And they're just going to play it out for the end game as well. And you're so right. 8 teams left within this final few zones. We're on zone number 7 right now. It's going to get to the point of moving zones as soon as this zone closes in. And unfortunately, Boss Binder is going to get knocked by the storm on the edge of the zone. Does make it into the zone, though. Is in a position to get revived. But unfortunately, Prism is in a situation where there are enemies all around right now. The minute you go down there, everyone's going to open fire on you. Maybe it would just be smarter to go in solo, try to get at least a 2nd place within this, as we see Saido actually getting a confirmed elimination on Little Cosme as well. As we move over to Lord Pancakes on, the far side of the zone right now, trying to move around. And look where the zone is out. Look how many teams are in this minimap right now. And the zone being in the storm. 50 seconds. It is a moving zone. And everyone has to rotate in. And this is where the action is going to start. Boss Binder is going to go ahead and get confirmed. And that elimination is going to go to Camden and the team. Now we see shockwaves going through. Ethan going to get knocked, unfortunately. Very low HP as the moving into zone. And we see a bunch of knocks going off in the kill feed right now. Some from the zone, some from people. And confirmed kills as well. Look how many people are on top of this hill. Everyone is playing King of the Hill right now. As Saido is going to try to go ahead and get far zone, which is a smart move. Saido is a solo right now. 5 kills to the name. 6 for the total team. Building up some height on the center of zone, is going to get pushed from all angles, unfortunately, over here. It's not looking too good for Saido, but everyone might just focus on each other for long enough that Saido does manage to get a few more limbs and maybe even a potential victory royale.
Man, I love this. You could see that mobility coming out there, dashing across there, but it drew all the attention. Everyone else wondering about that as well. Now we see the nunchucks off for Raptor going really to the far end. In fact, overshoots it slightly, has to take a step back. But he's taken now a King of the Hill position. Everyone chasing out deep and small. That next zone is still 8 teams in there. A couple of nice reses coming through there. Stevie G falls out there, and just a single left for his squad. 8 teams, 13 players, almost everyone down to a solo right now. Those few little duos that we've got here or there, might even have a trio or two. They're going to be starting to put the pressure as long as they don't give up their own good positioning. start editing into the building, start churning their way through it, get some high ground, chasing their opponents higher and higher. They've got a spot there as he takes off into the air, getting beamed down. Matthew, though, takes a couple of shots, starts to receive some himself, and gets knocked eventually there. Ghost Slayer, don't know if he's going to be able to get to his teammates. Denim Jeans managing to confirm a kill. Lawn Pancake as well confirming one on Almond. So we're down to 6.
Top 6 situation, 9 players left. Only now did we get down to top 6 situation. And you're so right. Almost all the teams are either a solo or a duo right now. And Lord Pancakes and the rest of the team, I think, are the only trio within this, perhaps, going to heal up. They are looking fantastic on the amount of HP that they have. They have full shields and maybe just a little bit of damage from the storm. Denim Jeans is solo, 60 HP to the name, trying to crank some 90s, build up some height. But oh no, the mats are an issue. There are no more bulls, more Denim Jeans. Denim Jeans is just going to jump in, get a knock, but unfortunately does get confirmed. But I do believe that knock is going to die to Storm, so that will count as a elimination. And Lord Pancakes does go ahead and get knocked, unfortunately, from 4 damage. And right now, it's a heal-off game. Just a tiny bit. Top 3 situation. 3 players left alive. Awful Raptor on the low ground. Has that nunchucks. Has that Flowberry Fizz for height. Is going to go ahead. Nunchuck up. Unfortunately, does not hit a shotgun shot. Going to try to build slightly. Get a little bit of protection. Mr. Above Average. Also sitting on the high ground with a gold pump shotgun and a Thunderburst SMG. 4 minis to the names. No white heels. Does get a beautiful pump shotgun to the dome, confirming another elimination. It's a 1v1, ladies and gentlemen, and big hits coming in. This could be a clutch up. And there it is, Mr. Above Average, seemingly above average today, gonna go ahead and get that victory royale. 5 kills to the name, 7 for the team, and that is going to be a duo victory as well within this.
Man, I can't believe that. Mr. Above Average actually the one to take the first shot there in the final few seconds. But the flick was good. Turns around, lays in the damage the other way, and just had sustained himself for so long. Taking good positions early there, managing to time it. It almost seems like every one of these players, when it comes to that final zone, you either, as soon as someone starts shooting at you, you just go. You don't worry about counter-fragging. You don't worry about anything. You get your builds up. You move out of the zone until at least they can forget about you, because you can be sure that pressure going to turn onto them. So you take a couple of shots and then you move. You take a couple of shots, then you move. As soon as someone looks at you, you need to be out of there. And that's what our victors were managing to do. Just stay mobile, keep up those mats. Such a fine balance at the end there. You can see the guys who invested just a little bit too much early on, whether it's mobility or mats, didn't have that ability to maintain that height near the end of it. And what an unlucky zone for them as it crept higher and higher up that hill. But a beautiful finish there for our first round here on a good Tuesday afternoon.
Absolutely. It came down to the mats and it came down to the storm once again. That final zone, we saw how much teams were left alive. 8 teams still in those final zones, struggling for positioning. When the zone is that tiny, everyone's just going to start dropping like flies, and the number of mats on certain players over there just not enough to stick that final few zones, and that is going to result in Mr. Above Average going to go ahead and clutch up for that first victory royale. But I do believe we have another match, Ultralism. You know, I do believe we could be seeing, you know, some more snipes, some more bosses being taken out, more action nonetheless, and I am excited for that. I hope you're excited for it too, Alt, because we're going to take a small intermission and then be right back with all that action.
Okay, you do it. No. Go. No, it's too late. I'm done. I'm on a silent strike now.
Daily basis. We got to speak to edit that in.
That everybody looks a certain way on camera. Behind the scenes, we're all awkward as
I don't even know what I am. Can I start again? Today we spoke to females. It's all we have. There's all these females on Twitch, bro.
From the beginning to the end, I'll what's the English word?
My name is Ron for you, and I'm teacher one.
Okay, we have to redo that. 'Cause
You go.
Dude, wait, we are.
Someone can say the institution and one by
We're
one.
from UCT.
Okay, well, not when I'm talking.
But we must repeat your question.
Well, you can just be like, we're from UCT.
Oh, I see. You rephrase it.
Oh, we can't just say
Yeah,
UCT.
Okay.
Okay.
God, that's smart. Hey, that's good.
Yeah, so it's not like you just talk.
That's
Like
good.
comprehension.
Like a comprehension, Nick. Right on the money.
Or something.
I'll do it. Must I do
However
it?
you want to do it.
You socially awkward.
Yeah,
Must I
yeah,
do
you
it?
do it, you do it.
In the team, I see myself as the backbone, the foundation. All the success is built upon what I provide.
In school for a very esports. Yeah.
And
Community and got to know a lot of people.
And to balance streaming as well as being a parent.
There's balance. We're supposed to balance it.
This is the point where I bring in balance.
I'm wasting foam, Gabby. I'm sorry. It's like, there's a camera.
My coolest thing is probably winning the Comic Con event, like 2 years back with my old friends. It's out of matric now.
I would definitely be winning the finals of the league tournament last year for the school team.
Yes, I think it should be because it's the fastest growing sport at the moment, and I think it has a lot of opportunities.
Esports is like the future. Obviously, it has to be balanced out. We want to make esports more respectable.
One of the positives I've definitely seen is everyone's always really social. Like, some people are kind of like scared to open up, but then when you really get to know these people, you realize that you have a lot of common interests, and it's just very social. Like, even with all the competitiveness, and everyone really gets to know each other, really become like a brotherhood.
My goals for this year is to place top 4 in RLCS.
Personally, my goals this year, I want to be a more consistent person. As a team, I want our team to be able to communicate better.
Be dominant throughout the year. Last year we started off rough.
A lot of new people to esports this year with all the great hits. I want everyone to feel very welcome. I don't want anyone to feel like they're being kind of smothered out, like they're being talked over. I want everyone to feel safe and happy being where they are.
Hi, we are the UCT Rocket League team.
Don't say hello like you're talking to your mom.
Okay, you take it.
No.
Go. No, it's too late. I'm done. I'm on a silent strike now.
daily basis. We got to speak to edit that in.
That everybody looks a certain way on camera. Behind the scenes, we're all awkward as
We're recording already,
I don't even know what I am. Can I start again? Jamie spoke to females. It's all we have. It's all these females on Twitch, bro.
From the beginning to the end, what's the English word?
My name is Ron for you, and I'm teacher one.
Okay, we have to redo that.
Wait,
You go.
Dude,
Wait, we are.
Someone can say the institution and one by
We're
one.
from UCT.
Okay, not when I'm talking.
But we must repeat your question.
Well, you can just be like, we're from UCT.
Oh, I see. You rephrase it.
Oh, we can't just say
Yeah,
UCT.
Okay.
Okay.
God, that's smart. Hey, that's good.
Yeah, so it's not like you just talking.
That's
Like
good.
comprehension.
Like a comprehension, Nick. Right on the money.
Or something.
I'll do it. Must I do
However
this?
you want to do it.
You socially awkward.
Yeah,
Must I
yeah,
do
you
it?
do it, you do it.
In the team, I see myself as the backbone, the foundation. All the success is built upon what I provide.
In school for a very esports. Yeah.
And
Community and got to know a lot of people.
and to balance streaming as well as being a parent.
There's balance. We're supposed to balance it.
This is the point where I bring in balance.
I'm wasting foam, Gabby.
I'm sorry.
It's like, there's a camera.
And welcome back to the ASL Fortnite Week 2, by the way. This is Week 2. If you missed out last week, way back here with some action for all of you guys. This is Ace Nitro's ASL, powered by Quark from Clear Access. And we just got done with match number 1, an absolutely incredible game. Everyone pushing for the height of that final zone, resulting in just above average, Mr. Above Average, going ahead and getting that first victory for the squad with a decent amount of kills as well, because kills and placements count to that. I'm AR. I'm once again joined by Altruism, and we are going to be heading into game 2 in just a little bit. But Alt, what did you think of that first game as a whole, basically?
It always impresses me the speed of these guys. You know, I've played minimal Fortnite in my time simply because I get into a game like this, and then the guys are like 17 meters in the sky in a second. They are editing so quickly. They're using them smartly. They're using them to take height very well. They get to a position and then they get themselves some really nice solid walls behind it. I mean, hell, we even saw the one team taking down the structure but putting up metal afterwards because it allowed them that sort of innovation that they could play around afterwards. I really do enjoy that. And I'm loving how the teams are starting to understand what that final zone with all those teams look like. You know, you get 6-7 teams in there in a tiny little zone. They're having the awareness to keep themselves alive as their highest priority, as opposed to just chasing kills. We also saw it in the other situation where the teams were starting to spot each other out, and when they didn't feel super comfortable in the fight, they just backed off. And that's good coaching, that's good awareness, that's good in-game leadership from people so young. We're in here for game number 2 here today, and then we got, of course, League of Legends later, so don't go anywhere. We've got lots of action. This is going to be happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much every week, guys. So let's get into this AR.
Absolutely beautiful chapter 5. I'm never going to get tired of saying that because it is, in fact, such a gorgeous map. You know, a little bit of snow has melted over it in the past couple of weeks with the updates, and I'm curious to see what the next updates are going to bring for us, map changes wise, gameplay wise. But we got 16 teams in here, 48 participants gliding in over, trying to get that victory royale. And we are on Hazy Hillside, where two teams are going to be landing. You know, not too hot of a location, but decent loot over here as well. A miniature vault over on the east side, I believe. And they're going to go ahead and loot up as quickly as possible and could be confirming some early kills for whichever one of these teams that go ahead and clutch up. We are on Saido, One Game, Ethan, and Galactic Sense. These guys were popping off in the first game. A bunch of kills, and they got pretty high placement as well, as we see them just farming mats. And again, mats was the downfall of some teams over in that first game. We saw how they weren't able to actually build up onto height and get into the safe zone, and that resulted in them either getting a little bit of fall damage from falling or just getting eliminated by another player.
Yeah, I must admit, this is so big. The amount of time you have to associate with any of your different tasks in this game is huge right now. You can't just have the best weapons anymore. You've got to try and prepare for that super late game fight, which require those mats to get around there. You've got to be able to reinforce yourself when people start pressurizing you. It's a very interesting play. You certainly don't want to be losing any health to the NPCs if you can avoid it right now. Ghost Slayer taking a little bit of a knock, but this team, another one, just like Saeed's team, was so good in terms of the number of kills. And that was something interesting, AR, that I noticed in the previous round. Some teams were sitting on basically 0 kills, but for the whole squad. You know, that was about half our squads. And then there were just 1 or 2 or 3 teams that had managed to just isolate one fight after the other and take it so clean. They were sitting at 7 or 8 before we even hit that final zone. And that's what you're going to be playing for right now. The smart fights that you know you can win and try to get those early picks off before the chaos ensues.
Absolutely. Back over in Hazy Hillside, we might just see a little bit of those kills that he's talking about. Mythical is going to go ahead and get hit very, very hard, as Ice Spice Alpha is going to go ahead, try to throw a little bit of a cluster clinger within there. Unfortunately, is going to do some damage to themselves, and that's not a good predicament if you're wanting to get early kills over here. Blue does he in the kill feed is going to go ahead and knock. There's a bunch of kills actually going on. Gamed is going to go ahead and get knocked, unfortunately. And right now, Alpha is going to try to get a beautiful knock on Galactic Sensei. Does manage to do it. That auto shotgun hits hard and it hits fast. And Mythical on 12 HP has to be careful with the next move. Don't take any fall damage whatsoever, because that's going to result in something really, really bad for your teammate. As we see Ice Spice Alpha knowing that they're over there, going to go ahead. Cone did knocked opponent, tried to stop the res from occurring. And right now, just trying to use that third-person peek to find the location. Does have shockwaves, could be using those shockwaves to push the enemies out, as we see Mythical going ahead, getting a little bit of damage on the opponents. And now the team inside, they are just trying to break whatever balls has been placed by Alpha, trying to get that res off. Gamed and Mythical is going to go down and get confirmed. And this is a 1v potentially 3 situation if they manage to get that revive off. And I think they just did. And this is a bad situation for Ice Spice Alpha.
Oh, that turnaround was huge. Ice Spice had some nice angles, and they were looking to rotate around, but outplayed by their opponents. Again, this other team, this team, was so good in the previous round, and you could see why. Even 12 HP, looking for those angles, even if you can just get some information or some quick, cheeky little shots. Galactic over here on 6 HP. One game, Ethan, though, taken out. It seems like they might have to rethink their game plan. Even 1v3. Your one opponent has too much HP to really try and be too cheeky with. Galactic managing to get towards the cover there. Doesn't have any sort of resources. Decides to pull out the Riot Shield and take this fight. But their opponent has got out of there, it seems. There's just no fight left. They're going to take those 2 kills, though, and be quite happy considering the precarious situation they were left in. So we head over to Blue Rizzy.
Blue Rizzy, Lethal, and Rakuto did get a few kills in the beginning. Blue Rizzy getting a little bit of a snipe hit on them. And that's not going to be a good situation. Has to go ahead, pop some minis. And the boss is still alive. The boss is out of the building. The boss wants the smoke. Rakuto is going to go ahead, get rid of those NPCs, at least a little bit of the heat taken down from those NPCs, while the rest of the team focus Valeria, trying to get that Hyper SNG Mythic, and it does seem like Valeria will be going down soon. Lethal, however, does get pushed by the enemy team, is going to go ahead and get knocked by Prism Gaming. It is a 2v3 situation within this right now. And unfortunately, it does seem like Blue Rizzy and Rocketo might get pushed very, very soon. Unfortunately, a little bit of a split between the team over there. No one covering Lethal whatsoever, as Lethal tried to go ahead and get the boss down, get that medallion. But Lethal is still alive over there, not confirmed as of yet, as the Javelin rocket, the anvil goes down, dealing a little bit of damage to those builds, trying to get a cheeky little knock with that rocket. As we see Rocketo just finding where the enemies are, does see them a little bit, is going to go ahead and cone up that turret so it does not do any damage whatsoever. Both Rocketo and Rizzy are sitting on a decent HP as we switch over to the opposing team, being Wally and Bossbinder and Prism. And right now, using that Fizzberry flow just to get a little bit of movement, does get hit mid-air. Wally trying to go ahead and get a few shots with that SMG as moving backwards. Prism looking on the outskirts as well, does not want to get third party, and Bossbinder is sitting with grey weapons in hand, and they are going to go ahead and trade that medallion out. Beautiful teamwork coming in over here.
I like that, you know, the innovation coming out there, and that was something that we talked about earlier. It is so important to not get tunnel vision on anyone, and Lethal was just a little bit too focused on taking out the boss with the team too close to them. Rocketo and Blue Rizzy now unable to get to Lethal. Lethal was confirmed on the other side, so they've just hunkered down underground, managed to hide themselves for now, maybe hoping that their opponents are going to leave them alone, just get out of dodge some way or another. That's our only real fight as we head to our typical mid-game as everyone else quietens down. Although we do see a couple more teams starting to push towards those reckless railways, this fight could get dangerous for everyone involved.
Absolutely. A very centered zone, I want to say, that we're seeing pulling in right now. I'm curious whether it's going to go far west or actually far south from there, because I've barely seen any circles like this one before. And you say at the mid-game, the slower rotations, only 2 teams missing within this, 36 players still left alive. And Ghostslayer has a very weaponized inventory right now. No movement, no heals, just guns on guns on guns. And is going to go ahead and hopefully use that to get elimination upon elimination. As we see the railways in the distance, Money over here, you know, looking a little bit with that sniper. And that's where that action just went down a little bit early on. But they are going to opt to go for the tower. Try to find that zone. Again, such a huge thing within a tournament like this, because you can get your placements down to a key, because placements again do count as well as your eliminations, and they are going to go ahead, get that key card and get the information. Probably the most powerful weapon in this game is informational.
Yeah, I mean, besides the snipers, you saw it there working to great efficacy. So don't underestimate the snipers, but once you can get yourself the awareness of where you need to get to, then those snipers really start to shine. The rest of the teams now still, again, trying to find that balancing act as we jump in now with Moto King chasing down his opponent. He's got 2 players around him, and they're chewing through everything that's getting stepped up in their way. Gamer Tag on the Gangster on the other side, putting in the pressure, and they are eventually going to take out Jockwell. That is a great way to finish off a team, and even gets a little turret out there for some extra cover, making sure that they don't get third party at any stage. But otherwise, they're looking healthy and very ecstatic with the fact that they picked up their first frag of the match.
That turrets do so much, and they are going to go ahead and push slightly over here onto Resonating and Cybonics as well. They are keeping a little bit of height from this team, but we can see that they do need to rotate very, very soon. They are trying to spot where the enemies are before they go ahead, and Cybonics is going to go ahead and use that flow berry to get movement. Such good movement, that is that zero gravity effect. You can go for miles if you combine it with a shockwave that we just kind of saw over there. As we move back over to Saeed, who's going to pick up that bow staff. Nonetheless, that bow staff being used for movement, and I think it's probably my favorite mythic out of the 4. You guys can let us know which one is your favorite down in the chat below. And Saeed is going to go ahead and farm just a little bit. We can see how good he is on mats as well. A lot of wood, decent amount of brick, and the only thing really lacking over there is the metal. And that is going to play out very well for any fights or for that end game. Top 14 situation right now. There were some reboots that went off in the distance and throughout the game. We are on 40 people within this match right now, and we can see how spread out everyone is, except for fencing fields. Everyone just wants to visit fencing fields these days. You know, a lot of people around it, as the AI is going to be taken out. You know, gold ammo being dropped, a good way to go ahead and restock on whatever you need. And there are teams just to the east that we can see on the mini-map. Will they push in after hearing the shots going on? Only time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a nice strategy that the Sailors team is going for. Here we jump in with another one of our teams on 0 kills, but they're looking really stacked up in terms of their resources. That balance between taking the opportunistic fights when you can, and then getting the rest of your time kind of dedicated towards the mats, towards the ammo, towards the meds that you need for the end of it. That's a nice bit of slurp barrels that they managed to pick up there. And they're certainly going to be stacked afterwards. Harley, our other team with Maelstro and Voidmaster. Voidmaster, one of our names that we recognize from last year. This team also was fighting for one of those top spots. As we see ourselves closing towards the next zone. Now we're starting to see people within sniping distance.
Oh yeah, zone 3 onwards is where we're going to see all our action starting in as we move over to Gangster. Gangster, having that grey shotgun in hand, is going to go ahead and have it flanked with 2 green weapons and a mythic. And Motor King over here going to hold on to that briefcase. Could be really good. That briefcase, as you can see, throwing it down, making sure that no one is by the combat cache. Can they go ahead and get the loot? They're clearing it out beautifully. As we look at the minimap, and one person does seem to be heading towards them. Make that 2, actually. And maybe that turret will come in hand. Sniper Glint in the distance is going to go ahead and connect. Motor King all the way down to 35 HP is going to go ahead and pop 2 minis. And that's the importance of why I changed my scope on my sniper, by the way. You saw that glint in the distance. You know where the enemies exactly are right now, and it gives away your position, but they did manage to land that snipe and at least deal a lot of damage, pushing the team back. And we could see a couple eliminations going on over here as we move over to Lethal. Gonna find an epic chest beautifully just sitting on a boat. And that's exactly what you love to find in the middle of a lake, baby. As they go ahead and they move on south into zone, they do get shot at from the left. Rockedo is going to go ahead, build that tree in the way, just mantles over it like an absolute machine. And Rizzy right now all the way up top does see one below. They are going to shockwave 24 mid-air. Beautiful shots coming in from Blue Rizzy with that striker AR just sitting on a height. And shotgun shots also coming in. There are still enemies very, very close by. Lethal going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of height. And you can see how concise the teams are pushing in onto this one spot right now. This could be a lot of action. As we move over to Gerard, and Motor King, I do believe, is down. I'm not too sure. I could not see the HP over there. But a lot of fighting going on this northern side. A lot of teams on the northern side. And it might just be where everyone might push up and start to get a little bit hungry if they hear enough shots up north.
Well, that's the thing, right? The entire field starting to condense down as the zone moves further south and pins everyone against the coast. No one wants to dedicate too much because of that moving zone. The Ghost Slayer back in here. He and Money, Matthew, doing so well in the previous round, getting up a couple kills there. A little bit further behind in terms of kills as to where they were last time and looking to make up for that deficit in this match. But they've got some big brick walls to contest with. And as the old tale told us with the 3 little pigs, the bricks are the ones that are hard to get through. They can huff, they can puff, but eventually they're going to have to charge them down. And they're looking to make that movement now. Starting to spire against there. The tower on the other side, eventually rotating around. A couple of shots come their way as well. Matthew lost the bulk of his shields, so they cannot afford to take this fight too long into this. Lethal, though, and his side still looking. They're the ones who've been pinned, these two sides, the whole time. Managing to pick up a couple more meds, a couple more shields here or there. And they're going to be happy that they can take this poke fight for as long as they want. Even got that javelin that you were talking about to remove any sort of fortifications by their opponents, but the distance between the sides closing ever closer now as they skirt around the outside of the Tuscan house.
And Lethal going to go ahead and push through the side door. Beautiful shots coming in from Rocketo, managing to not only deal the enough damage to go ahead and knock the opponent, but also to go ahead and clear out that big pot that was just popped. And Lethal is going to go, unfortunately, get down. And this, I believe, is Saido and the rest of the team. They are going to go ahead and push through. Beautiful shots. Look at that teamwork. Both of them focusing on the same person at the same time. And now it's a 1v2 situation And it's all up to Blue Dizzy, who is going to go ahead, get the battles, get a little bit of heals. But I think those heals did not actually catch over there. Maybe it healed up the HP. I'm not too sure on exactly what happened over there. But Blue Dizzy is going to try to build up, try to get a certain spot, maybe a little bit of height, try to get an angle, just hoping for a few shots to connect. Unfortunately, does not manage to get that opportunity. Is going to go ahead and get hit hard. 22 HP left. 70 builds left for Blue Dizzy. Has to build up as high as possible. The shockwaves coming in. The pro strats of the shockwaves breaking down builds. 22 HP. Blue Dizzy is looking in a helpless situation over here. And Saido and the team, I think they want it badly if that is them over there. They could have changed skins over there. I do believe that actually it is Matthew and Ghost Slayer, I should say. And the Ghost Slayer does have that golden Thunderburst SMG. That thing deals so much damage so quickly. And they do manage to get money back up. And they found some pizza. You know, let's celebrate that kills with some pizza.
That's a good way to transition out of that. Just we take our fights first, and then we eat like kings after. It is the Viking way, after all. But imagine, man, this loot that Manny's managing to pick up right now. They really do have a feast in front of them. But some teams still stuck deep in the zone. That was our two fighting squads from earlier. Blue Rizzy still kind of holding it out in the corner there. Everyone else fighting. We see Voidmaster and the squad taking a great position on the island in the center. That's a nice place to fight from, despite where the zone may go. The one game, Ethan, he's managed to take out a kill. Going to confirm it straight away. Get that nice bit of positional and points advantage. Saido, the only one from his squad before now to manage to pick up those kills. But it is all a team game at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. Look at this lineup coming out there. 121. That's the ping. That's how to snipe right there. And that should open up all the positioning. You can see Galactic wasting absolutely no time in closing the distance.
Absolutely. Once you hit that one shot, you push immediately. 121 to the chest is ridiculously high for one bullet, as Galactic is going to go ahead and get knocked, unfortunately. And it now is a 2v however many situations. Saido is going to go ahead and push out slightly right now. They are trying to build, save their teammates. Going to use some covering fire as well. Just try to keep them as far back as possible. Unfortunately, no scope on that sniper is going to make it slightly difficult. They are going to go with a double revive, and that is going to get Galactic back up. And now they just need to play it a little bit slower as the enemy teams are pushing in.
Yeah, this is the right call by the enemy at this stage. You know that they're going for it. You know that they're weak. You turn that pressure around against themselves. It was a good retreat from Galactic Sensei. That's the beauty of a team working well together. He can go out, try and confirm something. But when it goes wrong, you've got to have your team behind you. And he's managed to pick himself up back to really good standpoint now. Whether they can work themselves out of this corner. One pier separates them from the mainland, with the zones very quickly starting to come in behind them. They're going to be safe from it for the next little bit. But where they need to worry about the threat is the people right here, above them, around them, below them. It changes every second.
And Saido did knock one. I do not know if it was confirmed or not, but big damage coming there from Ethan. And Galactic is going to go down, unfortunately, again, getting pushed by two and getting confirmed almost instantly. And right now, Saido trying to find an angle. Beautiful shotgun shots over there as well. He's hitting some white damage with that SMG as the grappling hook did come into play from the enemy. And Ethan right now on the low ground. Saido on the high, trying to find a 1-2 situation where they can get these eliminations. And there it is, straight up a 2v1 situation. One going high, one going low. Just shooting from all angles, and he's going to go ahead and switch out the TMNT Mythic for that grappling blade. And look at where the zone has pulled all the way up north. And Saido and Ethan, they have to move really, really far in a short amount of time, nonetheless, if they want to be safety. As we move on to Walian over here in the middle of a fight. Bossbinder unfortunately going down within this somehow, and Prism has someone above them right now just trying to build up and stay alive.
Again, we're down to 9 teams as the zone starts to close. Willian taking too much damage. Bossbinder from his side already out. And so Prism Gaming certainly doesn't want to be left alone right now. Willian creating some space. A really nice use of the shockwave. Quickly gets himself into a good box as Prism tries to create a bit of consternation and confusion for their opponents. Managed to grapple out there. Going to do it once more Only has one little charge left if he has to utilize that too much. But this is a great position. Willian getting a cross angle, trying to cut off any of the retreats into the zone as it chases him. It's too much damage. He's got a bit of spot now. Can he get up close? Decides to take the first shot. Now he's the one who has to worry. Gets one, gets two, gets taken out. And Willian now left alone. His teammate going to try and at least exact some revenge. The shots are going wide as they skirt around the wall, around the chasm. Now it's all up to him.
Look at that minimap. Look at where everyone is right now. All on the southern side of that zone. And the zone is, of course, going to pull to the north, because why not make these guys run for their lives? Look at all of them. We see a little bit of rotations happening on the side, and that is Money, Ghost Slayer, and Matthew. They are doing a early rotation, knowing that if they can get the zone, get perhaps the building that may be in it, they can go ahead and survive this out for as long as they can. And the early rotation seems to be contested by that red team over there. They are slowly pushing up as well, but the builds are already in. And right now, it's Lord Pancakes as well on the edge of the zone right now as we switch over to them, just trying to get a bit of heals. And they got to move really quickly because there's 1 second left and that zone is starting to move. And there it is. It is zone number 8, meaning 8 damage per tick. And that is going to add up very, very quickly the longer that you are in that storm. And look at that minimap. Everyone now scudding for that little placement, that little home that they need to make in the safe zone. But there are 8 teams alive, and there's not enough space for everyone. You know the old saying of this town ain't big enough for the both of us? Multiply that by 8. And we've got the 8 teams over here. 17 people left alive, and a vehicle just randomly driving over in the middle of this is going to go ahead and explode almost from the new Fast and Furious movie. And everyone right now just trying to find their positioning armament over there with the riot shield as well. A little bit of protection. Right now, this is a tough situation for Lord Pancakes and the rest of the team's zone on their end as well. But there are enemies everywhere as one teammate does get knocked. And they are building the beautiful 1x1s. Going to go ahead and try to get the revive off as soon as possible. And Prism, the solo, just chilling, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Ethan, on very, very low HP, does have that shields and does pick up a med kit. Is going to go ahead and heal up. You see Con over here with that mythic pump shotgun. Has that in hand. That could be very, very useful for the end game. And right now, it's all a little bit of a chilling situation. Everyone trying to get their HP up and then rotate back into it. And zone pulling all the way south now. Does not like these guys one bit, I'll tell you that.
It's making life hard for them, and it's such a difficult game to play now because if you rotate early, you get yourself a good position, but you risk running out of those grapples, those mobility tools that you would love to have later if you need to make a quick dash. If you don't confirm it in that first zone. Otherwise, if you leave it too late, then you've got everyone trying to crossfire you. Anyone who's set up before you then has such a nice way to just stand their ground and aim in. Money going to be trying to take a high ground. He's lost Ghost Slayer behind him, flicks himself all the way to the other side, trying to get some shots in there. This is Lord Pancake's team. Everyone's still alive, utilizing that high ground to get the sniper shots in wherever they can. Still looking for a couple more frag points at the end of the day. We're down to 5 teams, 9 players left. This being obviously one of the only trios there. Probably maximum 1 or 2 of those in this game. We go back down to Matthew. He's going to get himself high in the air, try and mitigate that fall damage. Takes a bit of the storm tick, gets a great shot towards it there as he turns himself, gets the walls up as well. Saido also looking for some late frags. He's already got 10 to his name. He's got some sights there. Great shot there. Can he confirm this? He's got the shots down. Knocks down Cambon. One game Ethan. He's the one down. Saido up in the air, trying to build himself back into this game. Of 4 teams left, 6 players down, 2 on high. One game Ethan not going to be able to be revived. And it's up to this carry there. Knocks down the builds. Actually takes down his opponent with the fall damage. Heads up play coming out there for Saido. He's racked up 14 kills, 3 of them in the last fight here. He's trying to fight out with the launching opponents again. And once more, we're down to 3 players, 3 teams. And Saido looks to be in control of this right now. But anything can happen in the last final dying moments as the zone shrinks ever smaller and ever further.
What an amazing play from Saido over there, getting a double with the 4 damage. Unfortunately, inside of zone right now, we saw this happen last week. The zone pushing the high ground to the limits right now, and Saido does have that mythic. Is going to go ahead, move down slowly. Top 2 situation. It's a 1v1, ladies and gentlemen. 72 damage. Saido looking for the win. and right now is just gonna go ahead, edit through, cause as much pressure as possible. Does get caught off by the zone though. It's a 10-tick storm right now in this 1v1. Saito with 40 HP, 60 shields left, can clutch this out. Is gonna go ahead and move around the boards, staying on height as long as possible. 26 HP left on Narcana, and Saito just gonna keep the high ground right now, try to stop the builds whatsoever. And there it is. Not much you can do in that situation. Said with 15 kills, securing an 18 for the team and that victory royale. Probably one of the highest amount of kills that we have seen within this.
Yeah, 100%. That team effectively took out a third of the lobby on their own. Almost Saito taking that onto his shoulders, being the last person there. And it all came down to that slow, methodical gameplay, holding back when they needed to, getting themselves the heals up to be able to sustain through the end there. And that meant he could then get those good couple of shots and just pin his advantage going forwards. He takes the storm tick damage, doesn't matter. He knows his opponent is still lower than him, and then he can start playing around it. The desperate build battles at the end there was fantastic from both of them. Not Connor trying to pull it out, and he got a good sight there for just a second, but it wasn't enough. He had just had the damage done against him for a little bit too long. Beautifully played by Saito in both of these rounds. I'm almost certain now. I'm not going to give away any spoilers just yet. Remember, we are going to be releasing the stats from every week of this that we can as they come out. So you'll be able to find out who's taken that top spot week by week into this. I mean, what a way to end this out. I certainly believe that that is a good ending to what this Fortnite League is all about this term.
Absolutely. I want to point out that we got to the final zone over there. That was zone 12 of 12 within that. That zone was going to start shrinking into nothing. And Said clutching it up incredibly. 15 kills to the name in a tournament like this is absolutely fantastic. And, you know, someone's got to clip that double fall damage elimination over there and send it on Twitter with the hashtags of ASL. It's absolutely fantastic. And again, we have to give a massive thank you to Acer Nitro for all of these opportunities, as well as Quark by Clear Access. You know, without these guys, we wouldn't be able to do anything like this.
No, yeah, 100%. The fact that there's so many people working so hard to make something like this possible, and you can see it reflected, right? The students have the passion because they've been given an opportunity that I think even they appreciate. This is the real first generation of esports in schools, and so it's still novel for some people. And with all the teachers, you guys are putting in a lot of work. I know I manage my own sides there, and there is a huge amount of admin in the background. It's not always easy to know what's going on and where to look for all of this thing, but it is so worth it when you get to see what it means to these kids. They are doing it, and they're putting in the effort for their side. We're getting to see stars in the making. I mean, this means that we build esports across the country. High school league, then university league, then the pro leagues afterwards. All of it made possible by ACGL. And the people behind them, Acer Nitro and Clear Access, you guys are fantastic for making this happen. And of course, to everyone here in the stream, you're the ones that we do this for as well. The entertainment value. AR and I are here smiling our mouths off because this is just such a great way to spend an afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed the action as much as we have.
But we're not done yet, are we all? No, because we got a little bit more for you guys over here. We're not ending this off just yet. We're going to go to a little bit of an intermission and come back with more action. You want to tell them why, Alt?
Because we're going to League of Legends. Yes, it is not just Fortnite action. If you guys missed it earlier, Fortnite, Valorant, Rocket League, everything is here for you. Even the games that aren't being streamed have their shows. This weekend, we've got Overwatch 2 coming out to you with 15 teams signed up. That's pretty much as big as the pro scene in the country right now. It is fantastic that there is something for everyone. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with some League of Legends just after this.
Don't say hello like you're talking to your mom.
Okay, you do it. Go. No, it's too late. I'm done. I'm on a silent strike now.
Daily basis. We got to speak to we got to speak to edit that in.
That everybody looks a certain way on camera. Behind the scenes, we're all awkward as
I don't even know what I am. Can I start again? Jamie spoke to females. That's all we have. There's all these females on Twitch, bro.
From the beginning to the end, what's the English word?
My name's Ron for you, and I'm teacher one.
Okay, we have to redo that.
Wait,
'cause
you
you
go.
go.
Dude,
Wait, we are.
Someone can say the institution, then one by
We're
one.
from UCT.
Okay, not when I'm talking.
But we must repeat your question.
Well, you can just be like, we're from UCT.
Oh, I see. You rephrase it.
Oh, we
rather.
can't just say
Yeah,
UCT.
Okay.
Okay.
God, that's smart. Hey, that's good.
Yeah, so it's something you just talk.
That's
Like
good.
comprehension.
Like a comprehension, Nick. Right on the money.
Or something.
I'll do it. Must I do
However
this?
you want to do it.
You socially awkward.
Yeah,
Must I do
yeah,
it?
you do it, you do it.
In the team, I see myself as the backbone, the foundation. All the success is built upon what I provide.
In school for a real esports. Yeah.
And community and got to know a lot of people.
And to balance streaming as well as being a parent.
There's balance. We're supposed to balance it.
This is the point where I bring in balance.
I'm wasting foam, Gabby.
I'm sorry.
It's like, there's a camera.
Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. League of Legends underway after some really back and forth action-packed Fortnite. Kind of slowing it down a bit, but it should be good nonetheless. Myself, Sheepy on the cast with Androva. Androva, how's it going?
Good, thanks. And you? I haven't watched any league since like watching LCK like 2 weeks ago. And I haven't watched anything local since Girl Gamer at the end of last year. So looking forward to the intro of the school season.
Yeah, first week of I believe 6 of the first term.
Yes.
So from my understanding, there is no prize pool for this leg, but you're basically playing for the second term. And then the grand final is going to be hosted in Cape Town at UCT, University of Cape Town, in July. So that's kind of something super, super exciting to play for. And I'm kind of jealous. We didn't have something like this when I was at school. And I think it's such an awesome opportunity.
I keep thinking the same thing. I'm like, you know what? Born too early for pro league. You know, I mean, not that I would have done anything fantastic in it, but I don't know, competing at school amongst friends, how fun must that be? I can only imagine. And I mean, to do something as, I'm pretty sure it feels pretty prestigious from a school level to go and play at a university. I don't know, to just have that opportunity to showcase your skills on a stage.
Yeah, okay, so straight off the bat, it wouldn't be a South African event without at least one DC and a pause and a reconnect. So there it is right there. Officially checked off the bingo score. As now it's a minute and 40 in. We've got the two comps on screen. We haven't really touched on the picks and the bans too much. But my understanding, Hudson Park High School on the left in blue and Riverwood College in red. Are you biased towards any of these sides? Do you have a preference? Do you have a caster's curse? Or are we going blue or red? Just straight off the bat.
Oh, shame. I hate to do this, but I don't know. I'm always blue side. It feels like, I don't know. I feel so comfortable playing from blue side. I don't know, just league bias, I guess. So I'm gonna give my vote to Hudson Park for this one.
Right, on the better side win. Keep in mind as well, it is a best of 1, so no best of 3 back and forth redemption arcs available. So winner takes all, golden goal for the first game of the Game of 1 series. So let's see what happens as a mid lane. Bit of an interesting pick, the Akshan mid. Generally do see that more top side, but the ranged advantage means that hopefully, in theory, there should be a bit of a red side lead in the early, as we already can see now. Yon kind of chucked down to half out, so good start. Exactly what you want to be seeing from the likes of Riverwood.
100%. I'm also intrigued to see what we get with build path-wise. I mean, we all know... Oh, okay. Top lane is doing what top laners do be doing. It's not
Yep,
top
the
lane
back
if
and
there's not a
forth.
brawl. Smashing heads together and seeing... Oh, okay, a gank!
We do have first gank of the game. Freak did a bit of travel, trying to work his way out of this one. Flash still in hand means he should... No, I lied. Speaking too soon. Soul Hunter completely out of mana, so no signs of that first blood. But Summoner Flash now taken means he's going to be a little bit more vulnerable for potentially that reset, repeat gank angle.
100%. It's... Oh, we'll see how this game goes. I have no idea what to expect at this stage. I myself haven't played a whole lot of League in the new season.
Oh no, Dredgelight bot side attempt. ADC now in trouble. Caitlyn on the back foot, but she's fine. You were saying?
I was just touching on, I haven't played a whole lot of League this new season. Obviously, we've got new items. We've also got the addition of a new champ. We're not seeing Smolder yet today, but who knows, maybe sometime in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy. Oh, hello, there it is, first blood mid. So like I said, Akshan having that advantage in the early stages already wants to push that into potential snowball. So far looking good, gets that first blood. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that we don't have Smolder, that champion. Not exactly the greatest of places. Takes a little bit too long to come online, so I'm pretty content with our bot side Caitlyn versus Samira matchup. Makes more of an interesting game to watch.
It's one of those more common bot side matchups that you do see, where it's like the ranged poke matchup versus the all-in level 6 do or die duo, you know? So once we hit those level 6, it'll be interesting to see Samira as snowbally as an ADC gets, honestly. So it'll be interesting to see how Riverwood actually do carry the... Oh, not Riverwood, it would be Hudson Park. Do carry that through and empower that Samira through this game to hopefully carry them through to the finish.
Yeah, if there was a bot lane support you'd want to pair up with that all-in Samira, definitely would be the likes of Anomalous. So bot side, like you mentioned, kill pressure definitely there for the likes of L9 Ego and Custard. Interesting spelling of that one. But so far, just the mid lane looking to carry the back of Riverwood College to this first game victory in week 1 of the 6-week leg, I believe. So let's see what happens. First Drake is on map, so maybe some macro rotations coming through in just a second. But then again, both of these junglers, not exactly the most Drake-oriented champions. Kind of want to farm, kind of want to scale up to an extent. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we're definitely probably going to be waiting until about mid-game before we see anything exciting happening. However...
eating your words just like that. What were we saying a second ago? No Drakes, here
you
they
know
are.
what?
Taking a
I was just kidding, guys. It was all a joke.
Yep, the script we got from ACGL a bit off apparently. You might have to just touch a note on that one. Hold that thought though, bit of a team fight breaking onto Akshan's the main focus. Yon yet to rotate through, so far System Slayer dropped down to kind of low, trying to sneak his way out of this one. Is he okay? In the words of Ramus, he is not. Hello, TYTY. Flashing forward for that first blood for the likes of Blue Side as the repeat revive into another. Flashing forward through L9 Ego, looking to find his opportunity as just going to be exhausted into the Caitlyn trap. So that's now 2-2 and no signs of a Drake attempt 6 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, Riverwood successfully thwarting that Drake attempt. And Samira playing it pretty well. We're seeing great positioning from Online Ego right now. That fight could have very easily gone wrong. You know, a simple root in the wrong moment. Managed to duke out the Ramus well enough as well. So, I mean, pretty intelligent plays we're seeing here. There is thought behind what happens and per mid lane.
Okay, repeat attempt coming through kind of low, has to get pulled back and back up in sight, but for the wrong side it seems. Goodbye System Slayer, just there to finish off the kill. As now again red side of Riverwood College taking that lead position up 0.3 to 0.4 thousand gold. 7 minutes in.
What changes would you like to see from the side? I think mainly from this Yone in the mid lane to ensure that we're not getting a snowball on that Yone and tipping the balance too far.
That in just a second. As apparently it's back and forth, nothing really much coming through besides that emote flash. As now the Crubs, or the Void Bros as I like to call them, now on map, the new objective. You touched on that season change. So one of the new
Yeah.
additions, almost like mini Rift Heralds, but a couple of them.
Just a few of them.
as for-
Some good pushing power you can get with it, I suppose.
Yeah, it creates a lot more objective turret pressure. So definitely useful. As for how much prioritization you give them, still to tell. I mean, it is quite early in the season, but they seem quite deadly across the map. As now blue team, Nautilus actually up here to help and make sure they get that bit of a tempo advantage. Let's see if it scales into anything as top side. We do have your boy Freaks on the Yorick, who should have some decent late game pressure into the likes of this Cho'Gath.
Yorick
side.
really shouldn't have an issue on top lane against Cho'Gath. I mean, that is mid. Lots of action going on throughout this map, but Yorick shouldn't have it too hard of a time against Cho'Gath. I mean, evenly matched top lane, I'd suppose. It's gonna probably be a typical top island game where those two are left to butt heads for a little bit and let the jungler focus on the rest of the map, where we do see more of a scale tipping matchup.
Island boys on the top side. Bit of a wet noodle back and forth. There's apparently MVP turret coming in for a couple of active tower shots. Hunter for the flash forward. Gank into stage right. Try to find the connection on the taunt as the second knock up CC chain will be there into the potential kill. Freaks and not going to be able to style his way out of this one again. So he finally does drop at the spot side. L9 Ego taking a bit of heat as now Drake started up by the likes of the side of Custard and TY. So again, objective-oriented gameplay coming through the likes of Hudson Park High School. So far, despite being on the back foot in terms of gold, looking pretty proactive.
100%. I think we're seeing a very different playstyle in junglers right here. Where we're seeing Rammus mainly just heading out to try help teammates get ahead, and Fiddlesticks more preferring the objective side of things. We'll see where the scales tip, I suppose, in this side of it, but nothing too worrisome for either side of the team right now.
Give them time to cook. Level 6 now unlocked for the likes of Fiddle, so we should see a bit more proactive jungle gank potential in the near future. So objectives maybe on the back foot for a bit. Let's see what happens. So far though, Custard looking pretty good. I mean, he's been around the map, he's been making plays, the dredges have been connecting. So definitely gonna be watching out for Custard to potentially allow for the likes of Ego and the rest of the team to snowball, as top side of the map, Freak's been sat a little bit by System Slayer. So let's see whether he's able to still get that bit of a CS into gold item advantage that kind of just starts that snowball out of control, as Soul Hunter so far not doing too badly, just doing Cho'Gath things.
One does.
As one does.
I think it's great to see the, I suppose, like, proactiveness behind the junglers in this game. It's very easy to sit back and want to AFK farm 24/7 when you're playing a champion that is playing for their level 6. So great to see that Rammus is taking initiative. Oh, just a bit of a damage check.
Cancel.
Damage check on the Lux. It's big.
No resets allowed for Ego. He's going to be missing an extra potential wave. I mean, in this case, kind of exactly what you want for the likes of this Caitlyn pick. It's one of those champions that likes to snowball early, wants to basically have that early spike that translates and kind of makes up for her weaker mid-game, and then potentially late game can carry as well. So exactly what you want, that bot side plate now in pocket for the likes of Caitlyn and Lux, as topside TY looking for a potential entrance over the wall. Let's see if he makes this work. Kind of risky, I'd like to see it. There's the, what, no? The bait, the elaborate ruse, the flash forward is going to be the Hallow, but it's going to be instead the likes of Riverwood College getting picked off in the form of that Cho'Gath top. So not going to be Rammus this time, but instead Fiddlesticks as now 3-4, 12 minutes in.
Fiddlesticks 2-1 ahead. Was a bit of an AFK farmer, got a great objective on the map, knew that he was playing for that level 6, and waited for it patiently for the moment to show itself.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane,
Capybara gets the win. As depth charge into potential dredge Hallow. There it is. Custard putting in work as Grubs will be secured. Certainly, blue side Hudson Park looking so good as they find that kill into the objective of Grubs plus the tier 1 top lane turret. So suddenly, Riverwood College not looking as hard as they were maybe a minute or two ago.
Unfortunately not. I think we're seeing a bit of a support diff in this game. We've had a very engaging, I'd say, Nautilus actively roaming around the map, ensuring that he's there and around for these important objectives. It's not a skill diff necessarily, it's just that there's two different playstyles between Lux and Nautilus, and we are seeing the advantages in Nautilus right now.
Give Lux some time to cook as well. Items in hand in a little bit means there's going to be some serious teamfight damage. We saw the Lux that ultimate onto Ego to cancel or reset, so a couple more items, maybe we have a squishy one shot here or there, we'll have to see. As, like you mentioned, definitely looking good for Custard so far in his gameplay. As a mid lane flash, so apparently going for the early split push angle. Hellbreaker secured, which was definitely in meta a while ago. Now not nearly as rushed as it has been nerfed slightly, but hold out towards bot side, bit of a team fight breaking up. Blue side looking good, but the pullback's gonna be there. So again, nothing but Summoners burnt in this case as a big allocation for the Hudson side, for the bot side, meaning that maybe objectives top side for the likes of Red as yet to see this fight be done. Dredge Hallow. Lux in trouble, entering Fiddle, here he comes, bye-bye, double secured.
My goodness.
TY had the opportunity to farm up, and this is what we see now. A little bit of a carry angle here for the likes of Blue Side, Hudson Park's jungler.
I love the patience from Hudson Park there, because the initial engage looked a little bit suspicious with neither Samira nor Nautilus nor Yone having any ults up. So it was kind of just like, are they teasing the tower dive, or is it actually going to happen? And Fiddlestick's coming in at just the right time.
Right, so they have to get out. We thought that the objective would be free, as there was a big play, multiple lanes sent down towards bot side, and at least Riverwood were trying to be proactive off of the back of that play, as now apparently just not going to work out as they are contested on Rift, as well as Drake being taken, so the tempo definitely starting to snowball as the blue side Hudson Park are looking at really decent in terms of wanting to close this one best of one game out, as the depth charge into the Dredge, and no, she's out, but Drake objective still going to go for the flip. Soul, what are you doing? Too deep behind enemy lines, has no backups. Apparently it's going to be the reset angle. Double kill comes through for the ADC as L9 Ego is on the board. 4 for 0 for 2. And maybe the tier 2 or tier 1 mid turret as well in the back of that objective into objective victory.
This was the Samira we were talking about, you know, with a great team behind her. She's able to just absolutely annihilate entire front lines, rather. No, back lines. And that's just what we saw happening here. Every line, all the lines.
Everybody gets annihilated in the words of Oprah. You get annihilated, you get annihilated, everybody gets annihilated as the tier 3 turret now inside. The inhibitor about to be exposed to the neck of the turtle, almost just getting snapped off here as the gates are yet to be open. But it's 15 minutes in and it doesn't feel like a 15-minute game.
It really doesn't. I mean, we've seen such great action from Hudson Park, really capitalizing on small mistakes that Riverwood are making around the map, and just like, oh.
Here we go, Tricky Ball's gonna be there, double pick off, looking kind of stuck in the baby cage, thanks to the Freak, as now again, a Soul Hunter plus in here, nearly gonna be dropping, it does, a Raid Boss, little bit late for the attempt at the help, System Slayer jumping in a bit too far, does end up paying the price by the hand of Freaks, and his Shovel dropping the disrespect thumbs up as the inhibitor now looking gone, 16.5 minutes in. So Nexus maybe inside game going so quickly suddenly.
Oh my word. This is just, I don't even have the words for this. I have not seen such quick execution from a team in a very long time.
Okay, so they've got the hand. They don't need every finger and toe walk away. This is a big pick. You've got the inhibitor now cracked open to the mid. Waves are going to be shoving in naturally. Play for potentially a tier 2 top, maybe tier 2 bottom. Otherwise, objective still a couple of minutes out, 3 minutes on both Drake and Nash. So again, slow the game, slow and steady wins the race and gets the bait. Don't overextend and give the likes of Riverwood College an opportunity back into this game.
Yeah, I definitely think Riverwood need to be looking for picks right now in order to grasp back at this game. This could be a good example of that. Unfortunately, this Nautilus is such a staunch force. However,
I mean, collect in hand means Outline Ego has a lot of kill pressure onto squishies, but in this case, these are neither squishies with that Cho'Gath plus Ramus angle. As now, it's gonna be casted. No, he's walking out apparently. Okay.
The munch wasn't big enough, but Cho'Gath tried. Unfortunately, Ty maybe getting picked out over here.
Try so hard and get so far, but in the end, Custer just able to walk his way out of that one with a slither round. But the shutdown will be on to the likes of TYY, so that is a bit of bounty, but it goes back into the likes of Riverwood College. And like you said, they need to find these picks. Freaks damage the shovel, just deleting her.
Poor Lux, oh my gosh. But really, that's what we were talking about. Picks from Riverwood in order to grasp the game back. However, your jungle is not safe, Ramus. It's not yours anymore.
Yep. It's enemy territory, punished for a greedy little attempt at some camps, thinking that that part of the jungle is still his, as now Mana trying to walk away out of this one. Does not manage to, but maybe if they can get this bounty, 400 gold, the likes of Freaks, but he's still so healthy, still so tanky with the double item Triforce, plus Hellbreaker in hand means that is one scary top lane. Yorick, like we mentioned, might get to the stage. That's exactly what he's done with the gold in pocket from multiple objectives, multiple team fight victories, as now it looks like Hudson Park trying to close this out in a bit of a greedy attempt or greedy style with the mid side push through. Big spin, Beyblade, Ego, dies for it though, shut down, 6 for 2. System Slayer getting a little bit more gold off of that death in the previous attempt.
Just a bit of a greedy one from Ego, unfortunately. Your damage is high, but it's not. Oh my days, talking about damage.
So Custard finally getting punished for it, finds his first death, 0 for 1 for 7. No more James Bond 007. Secret Agent is down. I repeat, Secret Agent is down 16 to 7. And we're 20 minutes in with blue side Hudson Park looking good.
I would like to see Riverwood prioritizing vision in their own jungles, though it is looking a little dark and spooky for them right now. And we've got Drake and Baron up in 30 seconds. They can't hope to get any steal or any pressure on these objectives if they're not taking up space on this map. And it looks like they're going to try for Drake first.
So Drake, not exactly the objective you really want to flip the game on, like you were saying. This is kind of a risky one in that it potentially is only third Drake for the likes of Hudson Park, which is not a big one. You need 4 Drakes to get Soul Point, which will be the potentially one after this one. So rather give up the Drake and potentially flip for the Nash. That way you can maybe slow the game down, give yourself some time to breathe, farm up through that mid wave. But let's see how this plays out. Fiddlesticks looking to try find that super secret flank angle, apparently.
If Riverwood did choose to go for this and commit to the Drake, I would have said, Hudson, just walk up to Baron and take that instead. You've got a split push in Yorick, who's untouchable. Take advantage of that pressure and just head to Baron, take it, and potentially close off the game, you know? But
so I kind of like this. We had Riverwood College in a position to maybe take the objective if it was gifted. It was not. We had Hudson's immediately rotating through. They identified, hold that thought, their team fight, but breaker, the Dread Light is going to be onto the tank. But Soul Hunter flashing forward, trying to create that frontline pressure. Meanwhile, on the backline, L9 Ego trying to do as much work as she can as System Slayer. So many players so low, but nobody yet dropping there. It is the first blood, Yon plus the likes of Samira. So 2 members dead from the likes of Hudson Park versus just the one jungle System Slayer, which is kind of surprising. It's the ace of the whole trading. Top lane though, Nexus is like, Freak does not care about teamfight victories right now. He is here to take names, and Inhibitor is going to be that first name. It's now maybe Nexus in sight.
A reason for hope for Riverwood still. Getting those 2 shutdowns, absolutely massive. Three of Hudson Park's teammates off of the map now. Sure, they lost an inhibitor for it. They're just going to have to make up for that lost time and see if they can correctly set up for this new Baron that I'm pretty sure Hudson have got their eyes set on now.
So also, but I say how, like, I really like the decision making coming through from Riverwood College. So props on that macro decision, whoever is the shot caller, in that they knew that they couldn't really contest the objective if Hudson wanted it. So they backed out, gave it to them. Then all that thought though, T5 breaking out. I cannot finish that thought as neither Mana team can play this T5. Deleted. Goodbye, friend, as the double's gonna be there. L9 Ego saying thanks, I'll take kill number 5. And Baron Nashor gonna be that icing on the cake, as there is no signs of a contest yet, the likes of System Slayer.
Just a bit of mispositioning, unfortunately, I think, for Riverwood. I mean, oh, and there
Nash the
goes
kill, get
Baron.
out, run away, loses support, so 2 members, 3 members still dead, as the fans are not looking too strong just yet. Maybe this is game right here, we'll have to see how it plays out. Hudson Park, again, really have their foot down on that petrol. Want to close this game out in record time. They had in here at 15, looking for Nexus in 25. Good luck to Red Side Riverwood for this defense.
It's going to be a difficult one to defend. They've got 5 seconds on that Lux though, so they will be taking a fair 5v5 fight if this does happen. However, it just Baron minions are just so impossible, and they don't have a whole lot of wave clear on their team either.
Nexus still intact. Tara's taking a bit of heat as inhibitor number 3 does drop. So like you mentioned, Nash are making the wave. Incredibly hard to deal with that lack of wave clear in the team. So apparently just going to be looking at Cherry on farming up a little bit before they do go for that final hit on the nail in the coffin. I'm not going to lie though, those fiddlesticks on the minimap are kind of confusing me. The fact that it shows us that there's fiddlesticks all over the place. That baited me in that previous team fight. I thought they had a sick flank angle, but it was a fake fiddle.
I mean, this fiddle's been so key in Hudson Park's team fights, you know, and I think once again, just Riverwood maybe needing to prioritize vision a little more, because fiddle is not going to come from where you expect him to. It never happens that way. So just making sure that your flanks are checked and that you're not, I guess that the team is not split, but you also don't want to be grouped, because that just is trouble in its own. But we have just been seeing a few too many picks like this one.
Dredge is going to be in the back line. Not the player to get caught out mid lane. Force a flash out as he's chunked down to half. Here comes Freaks. He's just harder to join the fight. This is going to be it. Looking to try to take out Lux, and she does die first. Sophie's going to be next as 2 members now dead from the likes of the red side. Looking to close it out. Hudson Park want that victory as the double kill is going to be there. Caitlyn dead. Bot side's gone. The entirety of your team going to be wiped. With the disrespect going golden. Freaks dies means no clean team fight victory. As just like that, game, match, set, team Hudson Park in blue taking the victory.
Yeah, I mean, just such a quick game, 25 minutes, but I think we just saw some superior decision making on the side of Hudson Park through this game. Riverwood leading it in the beginning of the game, but slowly just losing it, maybe some bad decisions, some miscommunications, and maybe just some misunderstanding of what kind of matchup they were going into in this game. So
To
unfortunately,
that didn't feel like 25 minutes. That went by in like a click of the fingers. That was intense, like back-to-back-to-back team fights, left, right, and center. Couldn't even finish a thought before we had another team fight breaking out. So definitely, like you mentioned, a couple of key moments and players. But MVP and Ace, what are we thinking? Anybody in particular that stood out to you?
I'm giving MVP to that Nautilus, because the number of picks and kills that came off of that was insane. Like tipping my hat to the Yorick as well, who took that split push job so seriously. And an ace from Riverwood's side, I think definitely has to go to Ramos. We saw a lot of proactive plays in the beginning of the game, and he did try to like bring it all back together, but unfortunately it was just a little too late.
Definitely honorable mention to the likes of the York and Phil, both putting in work in their own way, but you'd be mad at Custard stealing that MVP title away from you. So better luck next time. Nonetheless, game, match, set, myself, Sheepy, and Drover done in quick time, apparently, as we have our victory for the first game of week 1 of the week 6. ACGL School League. Good times.
100%. I believe we'll be back on Thursday with another game.
Cool. Check you guys then. Peace.